Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Donald Glover's final movie premiere, where tonight we will be showcasing and acknowledging all of his accomplishments and talents that he has showcased throughout the years. Now, let's start at the beginning. At the beginning, in 2006, he was a student at New York University, and where he and his friends got bored and decided, you know what, let's start a sketch comedy group where they did YouTube like skits and just it was kind of like a college club where they just met up, had fun, and cracked jokes. But while doing that, Donald Glover was experimenting with many things. One of them is script writing, where he got bored and decided, you know what, I'm gonna write a spec script for The Simpsons, and that actually caught the attention of David Miner, who was the lead producer at a sitcom called 30 Rock, where he eventually got hired to be a writer for them, and he would make the occasional on-screen appearance, but his main job was writing. But he was also seen many times on set experimenting with beats and like turntables and stuff like that. Now we will focus on the earlier music aspect of his career, where in 2008 he realized, you know what, I really enjoy making music. I do this. This is awesome. But he could not think of a name. So he decided on a AI generator for his name, and that shot out the name Childish Gambino, which he would use for the next like 16 years. And he had not released an album till 2010, but he released two mixtapes. One was called Sick Boy and one was called Poindexter, where you could tell he was from a comedic background because it was very goofy, lighthearted, and just very comedic. And yeah, and then 2 years later, he released his first album called Camp, which was kind of different from his earlier work, and it was very well received throughout the music industry, but it was not nominated or recognized for any awards. And then next, in 2010, same year, he was cast as Troy Barnes in the sitcom Community, which focused in on a community college and just a very strange place, very wacky place. And then in that same year, he performed stand-up comedy at Comedy Central Presents and was very successful there. And then 2 years later, he released his second studio album titled Because of the Internet, where there was a single on the album named 3005 that was nominated for a Grammy, did not win, unfortunately. And then in 2014, he started a FX comedy kind of show called Atlanta, which he created, directed, acted, wrote, and I believe that's it, and produced. That's the last one. And then it was nominated for 2 Emmys, and Donald Glover actually won 2 Emmys, one for acting and one for directing for the show. And then in 2016, he released his best album, Awaken My Love, which was much different than his earlier music. And it really showcased his evolution and maturity through his music, where in his earlier music, it was more lighthearted and funny and goofy and silly. And this, it was serious. It was very funky, kind of psychedelic, and like modern soul influences in the music. and was nominated for Best Rap Album, I believe. And then a single on the album, Redbone, actually won a Grammy for Best Urban Single. Now, his next big move was in 2017, where he was the lead worker on Saturday Night Live, where he performed "This Is America," his most influential song yet. And when that debuted, it was top of the charts for a very long time. And then it also won 4 Grammys. Next, his acting aspect of his career. And this is all in 2018 and 2019. He was Aaron Davis in Spider-Man: Homecoming. He made a small but important appearance in the movie. And then still in 2018, he was Lando Calrissian in Star Wars: A Solo series, which just found out he is getting his own spin-off series where he will star. And then in 2019, he voiced Simba in the Lion King remake. And then in 2022, I believe, he made an appearance in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse as Aaron Davis. Next, he released 2 more albums, 3:15:12, which was a leaked album, actually, and then it was a bunch of unreleased songs, which he later decided, you know what, I'm going to release this. And then, unfortunately, in 2024, he released his last album he will ever make, Bando Stone in the New World, which I unfortunately have not gotten the chance to listen to, but I've heard it was very good. And now he's focusing on his acting aspect a bit more in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a Amazon Prime TV show, which is a remake of 2004's Mr. and Mrs. Smith, starring Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. What is next for Donald Glover? We do not know. He doesn't even know. He said he does whatever he does for the people, which I personally respect a lot. Now, to recap, we've talked about his comedy aspect of his career, his music aspect, and his acting aspect. Thank you.